I wish we could develop a local league so that I could slow down on my European Premier, Premier League sessions. So I love football and I love lawn tennis up to now. Now, favorite color, subdued. Okay. Hot colors frighten me. Okay. And if you have to do it, just make it minimal. When I pick my dress, for instance, you got to know you want the kind of shirt you want to wear to match the color of the tie you want to use, to match the color of your suit, so it doesn't run riot. So it's extremely important. And I said to my friends, just Google it. What color matches this and what color
others are quite pressured to tick boxes left untouched since January.
In the race to finish well, many people often push beyond limits.
So pressures and improve liquidity for operations, but warn it may also raise questions about accountability and long-term fiscal management. They note that careful oversight will be needed to ensure that the debt relief supports strategic investments and sustainable operations while maintaining transparency in reporting and revenue management across Nigeria's oil and gas sector. Nigeria's capital market raised more than 753 billion naira between April and October 2025 through commercial paper issuances, reflecting growing investor confidence. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, said. SEC Director General Emomotimi Agama said the funds helped companies meet short-term financing needs, particularly in manufacturing, energy, and agriculture. He noted structure supporting debt instruments. Agama highlighted major transactions during the period, including a 500 billion naira climate finance vehicle and a 200 billion naira bond by Electron Finance. Analysts say these deals demonstrate rising interest in sustainable finance and infrastructure projects, signaling deeper capital market development. The notes continued regulatory consistency and transparency will be crucial to sustaining investor confidence and supporting Nigeria's economic growth through capital market instruments. The federal government has proposed 2.48 trillion naira for the health sector in the 2026 budget, representing about 6% of total spending. Despite the allocation, experts say it falls far short of the 15% target set in the 2001 Abuja Declaration. The sector faces numerous challenges, including manpower shortages, the Japa syndrome, poor welfare for health workers, obsolete equipment, and recurring industrial unrest. Cuts in global health funding have further strained services, limiting access and reducing the quality of care nationwide. Analysts say continued underfunding highlights a lack of prioritization of health by successive governments. They note that meeting the Abuja Declaration benchmark is critical for strengthening health systems, improving access to care, and reducing preventable deaths, and call for sustainable budgetary reforms to ensure Nigeria can meet public health needs while supporting workers and infrastructure across the country. Nigeria's Presidential Power Initiative, PPI, has been severely underfunded, with just 3.66% of its 2025 capital budget executed, raising concerns about worsening electricity shortages. The initiative was launched in February 2024 with an $800 million plan to strengthen transmission capacity and deliver 20,000 megawatts by 2025. Analysts of federal budget performance shows the project has struggled to meet the targets due to low budget implementation. The shortfall threatens to entrench blackouts, constrain industrial activity, and limit economic growth across the country. Analysts say timely and full funding is critical for achieving national power objectives and supporting growth. They note that delays in execution could undermine investor confidence, affect business operations reliant on stable electricity, and stall broader reforms aimed at modernizing Nigeria's power sector, highlighting the urgent need for stronger fiscal commitment and project oversight to realize the PPI's objectives. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has warned that the country could face a nationwide shutdown of medical services if the federal government fails to honor a signed memorandum of understanding. The association said repeated deadlines for implementing the agreement has been ignored, pushing the nation to the brink of a comprehensive strike. In an urgent appeal to senior medical professionals and respected leaders, NARD Secretary General Dr. Shuaibu Ibrahim highlighted the potential severity of the action, describing it as indefinite and total if government inaction continues. The appeal aims to avert disruption of critical healthcare services nationwide. Analysts say the warning reflects ongoing tensions between medical professionals and the government over conditions, remuneration, and policy implementation. They note that a strike will severely affect public health delivery, patient care, and emergency services, underscoring the need for immediate dialogue and resolution to prevent a full-scale shutdown of Nigeria's healthcare system. The federal government has obtained $1.2 billion in financing from the United Arab Emirates to support construction of a 56-kilometer stretch of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. According to the presidency, the Coastal Freeway is a flagship infrastructure project designed to improve connectivity and stimulate economic growth along Nigeria's southern corridor. Delays caused by financing gaps and logistical challenges have slowed progress, making the UAE funding a critical boost for timely completion. Analysts say the injection will accelerate construction, reduce project bottlenecks, and enhance regional trade and mobility. They note that securing international financing demonstrates investor confidence in Nigeria's infrastructure development plans, and successful execution could pave the way for further foreign partnerships, strengthening the country's economic prospects and modernizing its transport network. President Bola Tinubu on Saturday joined thousands of Lagos residents and cultural enthusiasts at the grand finale of the 2025 Eyo Festival in Lagos, marking the return of the iconic cultural parade after an 8-year hiatus. According to a statement issued by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the colorful event held at Tafawa Balewa Square, Lagos, featured the President in traditional white robe, damask sash, and distinctive hat associated with Eyo masqueraders. The 2025 Eyo Festival honored 4 eminent Lagos figures: former military administrator of Lagos State, Brigadier General Mobolaji Johnson, former governors Lateef Kayode Jakonde and Sir Michael Otedola, and the late Alhaja Abibat Mogaji. SOUQ News Television was there and captured Lagos' historical identity, royalty, and culture in display.
Èmi ni Honorable Chief Rafiu Olawale Adisa. Èmi ni chairman ilé ẹtì mi báyìí fún Ẹ̀yọ̀. À ń ṣe àjáde ọdún ni Ẹ̀yọ̀ ó wà fún eré dẹ̀ ó wà fún. Ìránṣẹ́ ń pè ní Adamu Òrìṣà play. Èní yìí sìn a máa ń gbé Ẹ̀yọ̀ jáde láti fi ṣe ayẹyẹ fún àwọn òkú wa tó ti kú. So láti fi ṣe remembrance wọn. So Ọ̀yọ́ tún wà fún yín pé a fi ń bring unity àkọ́pọ̀ gbogbo ọmọ Èkó, gbogbo ìlú káàkiri àgbáyé, gbogbo wọn máa ń wálé tó jẹ́ ọmọ origin Èkó, wọn máa ń wálé láti wá ṣe Ẹ̀yọ̀. Ìdọ́gbẹ́ Ẹ̀yọ̀ yìí ó yàtọ̀ sí gbogbo masquerade àbí Ẹ̀yọ̀ tó ń ṣe. Kò ń ṣe ohun tá à ń ṣe lọ́dọọdún. Ó lè jẹ́ once in 10 years, once in 7 years. It's not something that a máa ń ṣe all the time. So ó jẹ́ kí Ọ̀yọ́ unique. And lára nǹkan tí Ẹ̀yọ̀ wà fún, wọ́n máa fi ń gbá aburú jáde nílùú. Wọ́n máa fi jẹ́ kí ó tún jẹ́ fún nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ kí business economy Lagos State go boom. Because gbogbo nǹkan tá a ra yìí, àga yìí tó fi ṣe, aṣọ tá a rà, gbogbo nǹkan tá a fi ṣe, ó fi boost economy wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ni. This is one of our pride.
Well, I'm Comrade Kamal Salah Bashwa, former chairman of Lagos Island, is the host local government. Your festival has come a long way. It's over 1 century festival, well over a century. And it's a traditional culture of indigenous aborigines of Lagos Island particularly. And it's being headed by the Oba of Lagos, and that is why you saw him proclaim, not until the proclamation of the Oba of Lagos for actual date and commencement of Eyo. That is when Eyo is certain, backed by the state government. However, Eyo is a cultural heritage of Lagosians that they are very proud of, and it's a classified world festival, and as you can see, it's all over the place. Where you are right now, this interview is being conducted, it's even called Brazilian quarters. After slave trade, that's where you see numerous families of Lagos, the Sansivas, the Shosivas, the Pereiras, the Salvadors, quite a number of Brazilian names that came back after slave trade. Yoruba culture is worldwide. It transcends Africa, it's worldwide. Because we are ever in the world.
Actually, this is my first time of watching the Eyo festive. We came here with our local government chairman for the first time that we participate because of our new local government chairman, Comrade Akim Olamile Kondauda. God bless him. It's fun coming here. I've seen a lot of people coming from the diaspora. They are here. My mates friend that I've seen for a very long time, I come across them. Man, it's fun coming to Eyo festive period. Thank God to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Mr. Selebu, for organizing Eyo Festive 2025, for bringing us together. God bless Lagos State. God bless him.
I'm from Chicago. I came down because of this festival. I'm here because of this festival. This is my heritage. I was born around here, and I grew up with this Eyo festival. So this is my heritage, my Lagos heritage. I'm a Lagosian. I was born in Lagos, and I have family ties in Lagos. But my family house is about 5 minutes away. So, and I have my children here from Chicago as well. So I want them to witness what your festival is all about. That's why we are here. This is what government should encourage, especially for the tourism, because a lot of people want to know what is your festival all about, Like your festival is not like it used to be an annual thing back then, but the last time they did your festival, I think it's been a while. So, but if government can encourage it more and make it, like an annual thing, the way it was before, that would be better. And I think, the government will definitely benefit from it.
Still to come in the news. India Defense Acquisition Council approves $8.78 billion to procure advanced military equipment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Season is here, filled with colors, energy, and the familiar bustle that signals the close of another year.
It's that time of the year when people get busy, market gets more sales, and everyone just wants to close the year strong.
For many, December brings excitement, but for others, a quiet pressure to tick boxes left untouched since January.
In the race to finish well, many people often push beyond limits, forgetting that peace is also an accomplishment.
So get agitated, anxious, or desperate to prove something before the calendar slips.
But the truth is, no achievement is worth your safety, your finance, and your peace of mind.
Your journey is valid, even if everything didn't go as planned this year.
Celebrate your progress, protect yourself, and move wisely through the seasons, temptations, and rush.
Let December be a month of gratitude, intentions, and clarity, not fear or unnecessary pressure.
Step into the Yuletide, heed this clarion call. With calmness, wisdom, and joy we ride. Staying alive is the greatest achievement of all.
All of us at SOUQ News TV, welcome to the Christmas season, a time of reflection and gratitude. Stay safe and remain grateful.
The Eyo Festival, also known as the Adamu Orisha, is a traditional Yoruba festival unique to Lagos Island in Lagos State, the center of excellence. It is one of the most iconic cultural events in Lagos and serves as both a spiritual ceremony and a public spectacle. Eyo dates back to the 19th century, though original traditions suggest its origin may be older. It began as a rite of passage for the transition of a diseased Oba or High Chief in Lagos. In today's special report, Bayo Olaoye traces the antecedent and the genesis of this renowned cultural event. The first recorded Eyo festival was held in 1854 to commemorate the passing of Oba Akintoye. Over time, it also became a celebration for the installation of a new Oba or to honor prominent Lagosians. The Eyo festival is rooted in Yoruba religion and spiritual practices, specifically those of the Orisha cult. It is particularly associated with the Adamu Orisha, a deity representing ancestors and spiritual guardians. The Eyo festival is essentially a masquerade festival. The masqueraders are called Eyo, and each represents a spirit of the ancestors. These Eyo figures are customized in flowing white robes with large hats and face coverings. They carry okpas, known as batons or staff, used to generally discipline those who break festival rules. The Eyo festival can also be described as a spiritual cleansing of the land and people and used to escort the soul of a deceased noble into the afterlife. It invokes blessings and peace for the community, purges the city of evil spirit and misfortunes. The festival is organized by 5 major Eyo groups or Igas, also known as palaces, each with its own color and significance. Eyo Adimu, black, is housed in Iga Adimu. Eyo Laba, which is recognized by its red color, has Iga Idungoron as its palace, while Eyo Oniko, renowned for its yellow color, stays at Iga Oniko. Iga Ologede, with its green color, will reside at Iga Ologede, and Eyo Agere, with its purple color, stays at Iga Agere. The main day of the festival is called Oye Day, which falls on Saturday. Prior to this, there are several rituals leading to the Akoko Day, where announcements are made and various traditional rites are performed. What are the rules, regulations, and etiquettes? During the festival, what are the do's and don'ts? During the festival, certain items and behaviors are prohibited, such as wearing of sandals and shoes, since everyone goes barefoot during this period. Also prohibited is the use of motorcycles and bicycles, while public smoking is not allowed, as well as the wearing of hats and caps. Violators are often corrected gently with the okpa by the Eyo. What about the modern evolution of Eyo Festival as a potential for tourism development? While originally a sacred rite, the Eyo Festival has become a major cultural attraction, prominently showcased during Nigeria's independence celebration in 1960, and in subsequent years, it has been used to honor dignitaries and promote the heritage of Lagos. It does not occur annually, but rather on special occasions, often at the discretion of the Lagos monarch or Bar of Lagos as the custodian of the tradition. The festival combines ritual, theatre, music and community spectacle, and it is often considered a precursor to the modern Nigerian carnival. The Eyo Festival has inspired modern performances and literature in Nigeria and reflects the depth of Yoruba spirituality, the importance of ancestors, and the interplay between tradition and modernity. Olumide Shokoya reporting for SOUQ News TV.
Welcome back. Outbound flights from Africa to Europe became the continent's largest international travel corridor by seat capacity in December 2025, and that is according to the OAG Africa Aviation Market Report. Airlines operated around 9.62 million seats, up 8.7% from 8.85 million in December 2024. The data confirms Europe as the most popular destination for African travelers, significantly ahead of routes to the Middle East, Asia, and North America. The festive season contributed to heightened travel demand, with many passengers flying for tourism, family reunions, study, or business purposes. And analysts say the growth highlights Europe's strong pull for African travelers and the recovery of international air travel. They note that sustained demand could encourage airlines to expand route networks, increase seat capacity, and improve service quality, while also boosting economic ties, tourism revenues, and cross-continental connectivity between Africa and Europe. Zimbabwe will continue strategic mineral purchases in 2026 to strengthen its foreign reserves, supporting the government's plan to adopt the ZiG as the country's sole currency by 2030. Officials say these acquisitions aim to stabilize reserves, back the ZiG, and enhance confidence in the nation's monetary system. Minerals such as gold, platinum, and diamonds remain central to Zimbabwe's reserve accumulation strategy. Analysts note that consistent reserve growth is critical for the successful introduction of a new currency. They highlight that Zimbabwe must manage fiscal discipline, maintain export earnings, and implement robust monetary policies to ensure the ZiG gains acceptance domestically and internationally while mitigating inflationary pressures during the transition. India's Defence Acquisition Council has approved proposals worth 790 billion rupees, that is $8.7 billion, to procure advanced military equipment for the Army, Navy, and Air Force, the Defense Ministry said. The acquisitions include radars, radios, automatic takeoff and landing recording systems, and other critical technologies aimed at strengthening operational capabilities and modernizing the armed forces. Officials say the procurement will enhance surveillance, communication, and strategic readiness across all service branches. Analysts note that the move signals India's commitment to upgrading its defense infrastructure amid regional security challenges. They emphasize that timely implementation, integration of technology, and maintenance will be key to realizing operational benefits while strengthening India's deterrence posture and supporting broader national security objectives. India is seeking over $30 billion in compensation from Reliance Industries and BP in an arbitration case over gas the government says was not produced from offshore fields. The dispute concerns the D1 and D3 deep water fields in the D6 block of the Krishna-Godavari Basin. The arbitration tribunal has been hearing the case since 2016, with final arguments completed on November 7th. A 3-member panel is expected to deliver its verdict in mid-2026, which can still be challenged in Indian courts. The case marks India's first public claim for such a large sum in this context. Analysts say the D1 and D3 fields were crucial for India's energy independence, but were hindered by water ingress, low reservoir pressure, and cost recovery disputes. They note the arbitration outcome could have major implications for India's energy strategy, offshore investment climate, and future relations with major international energy companies operating in the country. China has opposed any attempt to split territories in Somalia, reaffirming support for the country's sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity. The Foreign Ministry said the position reflects Beijing's long-standing policy of respecting national borders and opposing external interference in internal affairs across Africa. Speaking at a regular press briefing, Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said no country should encourage or support separatist forces for selfish interests. He urged authorities in Somaliland to halt separatist activities and what he described as collusion with external forces. The comments come amid heightened regional sensitivities over Somalia's political future and external engagement. Observers say China's stance aligns with its broader foreign policy, messaging on territorial integrity, especially in developing regions. The statement adds diplomatic weight against recognition of breakaway regions and reinforces international calls for dialogue within Somalia's constitutional framework as stakeholders monitor developments closely and urge restraint to preserve stability and regional security interests. China announced tariff adjustments for 2026, including reduced import duties on resource-based commodities such as recycled black powder for lithium-ion batteries. The move is aimed at supporting key industries and promoting supply chain efficiency in strategic sectors. The country will also cut levies on medical products, including artificial blood vessels and diagnostic kits for certain infectious diseases, according to the Customs Tariff Commission of the State Council. Overall, 925 products will see provisional import rates lower than most favored nation rates, applied to all World Trade Organization members. Analysts say the tariff cuts could stimulate industrial growth and improve access to critical medical and resource inputs. They note that lowering trade barriers may also enhance competitiveness, encourage innovation, and reduce costs for manufacturers and healthcare providers, while strengthening China's position in global supply chains. Bank of Japan policymakers debated whether to continue raising interest rates after a December increase, with one official calling for hikes every few months. The discussion reflects the central bank's ongoing focus on controlling inflationary pressures and stabilizing the economy. Some board members noted that Japan's still low interest rates contribute to a weaker yen, which in turn fuels price pressures on imported goods. They suggested that exchange rate movements will be a key consideration in future policy decisions. However, reports say continued rate hikes could strengthen the yen and help contain inflation, but may also slow economic growth. They note that the board faces a delicate balancing act between curbing price pressures and supporting recovery, making careful monitoring of inflation trends, currency fluctuations, and global financial conditions critical for setting future monetary policy. Still to come in the news, Germany is set to acquire advanced artillery systems mounted on armored vehicles as global uncertainties intensifies. This is the World News. We'll be right back.
Africa Development Studies Center, ADSC, we are committed to driving sustainable growth and development across Africa through innovative training and research. Our mission: empowering leaders, policymakers, and professionals with the tools they need to create lasting change. With customized training, dynamic research programs, and study exchanges on leadership, management, and other critical development topics, ADSC offers a platform for exchanging cutting-edge ideas and global best practices. We provide comprehensive services in research and consultancy, capacity building and training, education programs, publishing, and knowledge sharing. Our esteemed faculty, composed of seasoned experts and researchers, ensures a learning experience that is insightful and practical. We specialize in policy development, implementation strategies, monitoring, and evaluation. At ADSC, learning is engaging and enjoyable. Our unique methodology includes talks, interactive exercises, games, video screenings, and lively seminar discussions, all in a comfortable and friendly environment. Ready to make an impact? For more information, email us at info@adstudycenter.com or call +234 912 439 2362. Visit us today at www.adstudycenter.com to explore our programs and upcoming events. Africa Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa.
Muhammad Yunus was born on the 28th of June 1940 in the village of Batwa, Chittagong, a British Indian colony which is currently known as Bangladesh. He attended Lama Bazar Primary and Secondary School in his village and passed the matriculation examination into Chittagong Collegiate School, where he ranked 16th out of 39,000 students. After his graduation in 1961, Yunus joined the Bureau of Economics as a research assistant and was later appointed lecturer of economics at the Chittagong College. During that time, he also set up a profitable packaging factory on the side. In 1965, he received a Fulbright scholarship to study in the United States, where he obtained his PhD in economics from the Vanderbilt University Graduate Program in Economic Development. Between 1969 and 1972, after his keen education excellence of apex heights and proportions in the United States, he returned home and was appointed professor of economics at the University of Chittagong. He was eventually appointed onto the board of directors to the United Nations Foundation, where he served for 33 years. When Bangladesh suffered a famine in 1974, Yunus felt he had to do something for the very poor. In his country, he founded the Grameen Bank. His motivation was to create economic and social development for the very poor, giving long-term loans to those who wanted to start small enterprises to pay back when they can. The aim to help was to get many of them out of poverty. For this, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006. Muhammad Yunus is a recipient of numerous international awards for his ideas and endeavors, including the Humanitarian Award in 1993, World Food Prize in 1994, Independence Day Award in 1987, Bangladesh's highest award, the King Hussein Humanitarian Leadership Award in 2000. He was also awarded the Volvo Environment Prize in 2003, Nikkei Asia Prize for Regional Growth in 2004, Franklin D. Roosevelt Freedom Award in 2006, as well as the Seoul Peace Prize in the same year. All humans are born entrepreneurs, he would always fondly say. His heart shone through his everyday life.
Welcome back. U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said significant progress has been made towards ending the Ukraine war during talks in Florida, though Trump noted one or two very thorny issues remain. Both leaders described the discussions as great, with Zelensky saying 90% of a 20-point peace plan had been agreed. Trump added that security guarantees for Ukraine are close to 95% complete. The main remaining sticking point involves territorial disputes, with Russia previously demanding Ukraine cede additional land. Analysts say continued diplomacy will be critical to finalizing an agreement. Zelensky confirmed that U.S. and Ukrainian teams will meet next week to resolve outstanding issues. Observers note that while progress is promised, the success of any peace deal will depend on addressing territorial disputes, implementing security guarantees, and securing broader regional and international support to ensure a sustainable resolution to the nearly 4-year conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has proposed that a 20-point peace plan to end Russia's war be put to a national referendum, emphasizing public involvement in deciding the country's future. Speaking to reporters via a WhatsApp chat, Zelensky said that holding the referendum would require a ceasefire of at least 60 days to ensure safe and credible voting conditions. The plan aims to resolve ongoing hostilities and establish a durable framework for peace. Analysts say a referendum could strengthen legitimacy for any agreement and increase public buy-in, but stress that security, logistics, and political consensus are critical for success. They note that implementing a ceasefire, coordinating with international observers, and managing domestic expectations will be key challenges before Ukraine can formally vote on the proposed peace plan. Austria should reconsider its opposition to a trade agreement between the European Union and the Mercosur bloc, according to Austrian Central Bank Chief Martin Kocher. Speaking on Monday, Kocher said that as a small export-oriented country, Austria cannot afford to miss opportunities to expand trade and strengthen economic ties with South America. The deal could open market for Austrian goods and services while boosting EU-Mercosur economic cooperation. Analysts note that overcoming political resistance in Austria may be critical to finalizing the trade pact. They emphasized that the agreement promises mutual benefits, including increased exports, investment flows, and strengthened supply chains, but also requires careful management of domestic industry concerns and environmental standards to secure broad support across the EU and Mercosur member states. Britain has signed a €52 million, that is $70 million, joint procurement contract with Germany to acquire advanced artillery systems mounted on armored vehicles, the Ministry of Defense said. The RCH-155 artillery system can fire accurately while moving and strike targets over 70 kilometers away. The deal will provide the British Army with an early capability demonstrator, while Germany will receive 2 units for testing purposes. Analysts say the procurement strengthens both countries' defense capabilities and interoperability. They note that such systems enhance battlefield mobility and precision firepower, while collaborative defense contracts can reduce cost, accelerate technology adoption, and reinforce strategic partnerships between NATO allies in response to evolving security challenges. The Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, has approved $30,000 bonuses for each Super Eagles player in recognition of reaching the round of 16 at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Officials say the incentives are meant to reward the players' dedication and performance in the tournament while motivating them for upcoming matches. The announcement follows Nigeria's display of competitive football, which helped secure progress to the knockout stage. Analysts know that timely bonus payments can boost morale and foster team cohesion. They highlight that clear reward structures for achievements are critical in maintaining high performance levels, encouraging commitment, and sustaining the Super Eagles' focus as they aim for deeper advancement in the competition and continued success on the continental stage. Still in sports, 2026 FIFA World Cup, NFF confirms no response from FIFA on the DR Congo case. The Nigeria Football Federation says it has not received any official response from FIFA regarding its appeal over DR Congo's alleged use of ineligible players. The NFF stressed that no rejection or acknowledgement has been communicated, leaving the dispute unresolved ahead of upcoming competitions. Nigerian officials maintain that a clear ruling is necessary to protect the integrity of matches and ensure fair play. Analysts say the delay could affect preparation for future fixtures and strategic planning for national teams. They note that FIFA's decision will set a precedent for handling eligibility disputes in African football, and timely resolution is crucial to maintain confidence in the governance, prevent potential grievances, and uphold competitive standards across continental tournaments. That's a wrap on the news, but before we go, here's a recap of today's stories. President Tinubu cancels $1.42 billion of debt owed by Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited to the Federation account. The president joins Lagos Air Festival celebration as the century-old tradition honors 4 legends. Zimbabwe strengthens foreign reserves, highlights government's plan to adopt the Zimbabwean gold as the country's sole currency by 2030. President Trump and President Zelensky says great progress has been made toward ending Russia-Ukraine war during talks in Florida. And in sports, Nigeria Football Federation lures Super Eagles players with $30,000 to reach round of 16 at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. Many thanks for watching. Do well to follow us on all social platforms at SOUQ News Television. I am Omobola Sandra. Have a good afternoon.
For more than a century, Zambia has stood as a prominent figure in the mining sector, particularly renowned for its copper production, which remains a cornerstone of the nation's economy. Accounting for 3/4 of the country's export earnings, mining plays a pivotal role in Zambia's economic landscape. The focal point of this mining activity is the Copperbelt province, home to major copper mines like Lumwana and Konkola, alongside Sentinel in the northwestern province. These mines, operated by renowned international firms such as Barrick and Vendetta Resources, hold majority foreign ownership, with Zambia Consolidated Copper Mine Investment Holdings retaining minority stakes. Smaller mines in the Copperbelt region, backed by investors from countries like China, Brazil, and South Africa, contribute to Zambia's diversified mining landscape. However, the country's mining sector faces various challenges, hindering the potential growth trajectory. Fiscal policies introduced by the government, including royalty increases, the taxation policies, have negatively impacted mining profitability. Also, price volatility in global markets, infrastructural deficiencies like inadequate transportation networks, power shortages, and an uncertain regulatory environment further increases the sector's challenges. Moreover, labor disputes, safety concerns, and geopolitical risks stemming from political instability poses additional hurdles to Zambia's mining sector. To propel the nation towards its 3 million tons copper production goal, strategic measures are crucial. and these include leveraging digital technology through partnerships with AI and machine learning firms to enhance sectors' efficiency and investment, stable policy framework in order to attract and retain investment, and provision of a conducive regulatory environment. Infrastructure strengthening supported by donor funding and concessional financing can also alleviate critical constraints such as transportation and power shortages. More so, environmental conservation is vital for sustainable development. Hence, mining companies must provide government-approved environmental management plans, prioritize durable equipment, and proper waste disposal techniques to minimize environmental degradation. Giving copper's expected dominance in Zambia's exports, maintaining its position as Africa's economic hub demands a concerted effort. Israel Adeyemi, SOUQ News.
The city of Agbo has been home to many illustrious sons and daughters of this nation, from legal luminaries, industry leaders, business moguls, sportsmen and women, the academia, entertainers, political juggernauts, to mention but a few. Because of its peculiar location connecting the southeastern to northwestern Nigeria, it is a melting pot of both commercial and agricultural services with a diverse population of residents and settlers. When Dickens Ogeneruemu Patrick Sanomi courted and eventually married the delectable Mabel Iyabo Sanomi, little did he know that their fifth child, Igor Charles Sanomi, who was born 17th May 1975, was going to place the Sanomi family name on the world map for the very right reasons. Dickens was the second vice president of the Urobo Progressive Union, UPU, and an Assistant Inspector General Police, AIG, in the Nigerian Police Force. His mother was a Yeye Jemo, tribal chief of the Ishotun Ijesha Kingdom in Osun State, and also a nurse. Patrick's father did practice law in England before returning to Nigeria. Igor obtained his bachelor's degree in geology and mining from the University of Jos. Like many before him, achieving the level of stride he has made didn't come by sheer wishes. His interest in the oil and gas sector was sparked in his final year at the university. He had a friend who interned in a local physical oil trading company, First Furs, and every day that he came back, he talked unendingly about the things he had learned and the prospects in the oil and gas sector. Overwhelmed by the persistent talks by his friend, if you call it that, the desire for physical trading grew on him, creating a lasting impression on him. So while many of his colleagues daydreamed about the prospect of working in one of the major oil and gas companies in the country, after graduation, The prospect of trading never left him for a second. In his final year at the university, he voraciously read everything on physical trading he could lay his hands on, looking for a more appropriate time to get into the business. He did find the opening he was looking for. Back then, it was common for local Nigerian businessmen to bid for fuel import contracts from the state-owned oil company, and then, upon winning the contracts, they resold the contracts to foreign oil trading companies for a tidy sum without lifting a finger. But for him, this was the break he had anticipated for a long time. He set out to get some of these businessmen who won the contract and offered them a mouth-watering deal they couldn't resist. Igor is the founder of Talaveras, a $2 billion company. Now, if you heard his feat, you would have thought it was but a walk in the park. But if only you look closely, you will know it is far from that. Talaveras at its prime moved more than 170 million barrels of crude oil and oil products yearly, and has upstream and downstream assets in a number of African countries. For many who are close to him, Igor is rather media shy. The company in 2008 began to appear on the radar of the most Nigerians when it stated that its offshore trading arm hit a turnover exceeding $2 billion in 2005 during the oil bidding round organized by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources. Talaveras won 2 oil blocks. Then, following a crude swap arrangement with Duke Oil Incorporated, a subsidiary of NNPC, Talaveras also benefited. In the same vein, Talaveras in 2013 acquired a stake in the 900 megawatt Afam power plant in Rivers State. Additionally, in 2014, the company invested a minority stake in the IOTO consortium that acquired prolific OML-29 from Shell. Local companies that had the capacity to engage in the oil sector were strongly encouraged to participate in the bid for government tenders. In April 2022 of 2010, the Local Content Act became law and Talaveras met the criteria. True to his nature, he expressly said that he had never at any point obtained any contract through dubious means. With nothing left but faith, hope, and trust in the future, Igor plunged ahead after he failed to make the list of successful bidders for the 2017/2018 crude oil term contract when it was announced in January 2017. This was one of the unsavory moments in his career. When Talaveras didn't get renewal of its crude for products exchange, which it had operated for 3 years by the then President Goodluck Jonathan's administration, this dealt a big blow to Talaveras because it had earlier entered forward contract and base revenue projection models on it. Many who long awaited its fall thought long and hard how Talaveras was going to replace these revenue streams. But like a phoenix from the ashes, Talaveras rose to the occasion by going back to the drawing board to re-strategize. It structured and engaged its international creditors. This led to matters assuming a legal configuration, and there were many out-of-court resolving of matters. He admitted to Talaveras having gone through a series of challenges, also that his affairs in Nigeria have been largely misunderstood by many. For those who have wondered what else this driven young man invests his time in when he's not transacting business deals, it definitely is something that gives him fulfillment beyond pecuniary gains, philanthropy. In 2011, he founded the Deacon Sanomi Foundation, DSF, in honor of his father. This foundation supports people in education and health across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Also, it supports autism awareness initiatives and donates to humanitarian disasters across Nigeria and Africa, donating millions of dollars every year in the support of these endeavors. Owing to his selfless behavior, he's been recognized twice by renowned institute, Choiseul, based in France, topping the ranks of the Choiseul 100 economic leaders under 40 who will play a vital role in the economic development of Africa. For a man renowned for pushing his limits, one would have thought he was everywhere in the eyes of the public, but the reverse is the case for Igor, who is notoriously known for staying away from the spotlight. In 2014, he was awarded a Papal Medal of His Holiness Pope Francis for his ongoing dedication to the Catholic Church and support of the Vatican's mission in Nigeria. He donated to cancer research through the Bobby Moore Fund for Cancer Research in the UK to help fund prostate cancer research. This earned him the Martin Luther King Jr. Award, which was held in Washington, D.C. in 2016. More recently, he founded the inaugural Touch a Life Today campaign launched by the Global Initiative for Peace, Love and Care, GIPL, across 3 states in Nigeria, with the goal of reaching 1,000 vulnerable patients who cannot pay their medical bills. The campaign ended on 17th May 2017. Sanomi is working on restructuring his business alongside the trading arm, which is led by the CEO, Marcio Beavalon, a former royal executive with 35 years work experience, and William Brock Tupeni, another seasoned upstream executive, formerly with the Petrofac. Igor remains committed to growing his business ventures across Africa. Igor Charles Sanomi.
My name is Muiba Wonu Folami, an indigenous of Lagos State, Ikorodu, to be specific. I was born in Lagos 86 years ago, and to the glory of God, I'm still alive and well, and trying to be a relative in the cause of women. I attended primary school. I started at Ansarudin Alakuru School. From there to CMS Girls School, and then Queen's College, Lagos. From Queen's College, I went to the Portsmouth College of Technology for my A-levels, and then University of London for my first degree in law. the same university for my master's degree in law. I had, between obtaining my master's and my first degree, I was in Nigeria to do the mandatory law school course. I was one of the last people to do a 3-month course before it was changed to 1 year. And then went back to England for my master's. And from there to lecture at the University of Zambia. Back to Nigeria, I was appointed by Dr. Taslim Elias, the CJ of Nigeria, to the Commission for Advanced Notice to Lawyers of Developments in Law. It was a commission funded by the Ford Foundation to keep lawyers abreast of the developments in law. I was a director there. Then from there, I was admitted to the Federal Ministry of Justice. After being legal advisor to many ministries, I ended up as the Director of Public Prosecutions for the Federation. And after that, whilst I was the Director of DPP, I was appointed Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Lagos State. After retirement, I've been involved in social work, in religion. I've always had religion, but I spend more time on religion. I read, I watch telly, and I live a good life, to the glory of God. You see, when you begin to think that it was not until 2007 that women started to get equal pay in tennis tournaments. And it was something that was fought for. Little things like that does not add to equality. But when it was done, it may be small, but at work, even at work in employment, women are still discriminated against. And most women do 2 jobs. They look after the home, and they do the normal work that a man does in an office. Why I fail to understand this inequality in the treatment of women is that the work, the responsibilities in the workplace is not reduced for women, even though we do not want to be paid the same salary as men. It's a fight that has continued, and in that area, I think we need to do more to push for more recognition. Women have contributed immensely to the society. The men that are now resisting equal pay were brought up by women. Exactly. That's what I do not understand, that they can think like that. We continue to push.
But how can we speed this up?
By bringing it to the attention of world powers, recognition by every country of equal opportunities, equal pay. I want to know, I want somebody to explain to me the jobs that women cannot do.
Yeah.
They've contributed immensely. Even in the new thing, IT, we're at par with men. So I do not see the reason for it. Fortunately, I did not experience it because when I left university, I practiced law briefly in my uncle's chambers before I went to University of Zambia as a lecturer. There, my position was enhanced in the sense that I was a foreigner and I got all the benefits of being a foreigner, serving in their service. Fortunately, in Nigeria today, the federal government does not discriminate in terms of salaries. Whether you're a man or a woman, you get the same salary scale. And you are promoted on equal basis. Kudos to the federal government, to Nigeria for that. But in the private sector, things are different. In some companies, this is the area that we have to work on because the job content is the same. Some of these facilities are available in Nigeria. I learned by being a member of the Society for the Disabled that every government body must admit a certain percentage of women and of disabled people. So most times this opportunity is not taken. They are bound to employ them. We continue to push for that to be implemented in most ministries. It's important because it's there. You have to take a certain percentage of disabled people to work in government positions. It's important that we work to enforce that rule in our society. When it comes to discrimination, Nigeria is way ahead of some developed countries because we, through slavery, we faced discrimination right from the beginning. We now know how to resist it. But in my country, Nigeria, in the federal government, in the state government, there is no discrimination. It may happen in private organizations, but they must continue to push to let them understand that the job content is the same. Well, you see, traditionally, under our culture, women are in the other room. Well, the quotation. Yeah. That's our society. That's our culture. It's going to take a long time to evolve. In my time, female education was not so-called popular. It's only the educated few that strove to send their children to school, their girl child to school. They end up trading with their mothers or going to market and getting married off early. But as education began to rise in our community, its value was seen by my parents and others of their contemporaries to educate the girl child. And I believe the society is benefiting from that. So we must continue to push for the education of women, of girls. have fought that. You know, when I read that, the certain state government has appointed look at our National Assembly. 4 women in the Senate. Isn't that shameful? And that is the society. We have to continue to push women up. Let these political parties know that we want women. Let us organize ourselves to continue to vote for women massively. I give kudos to our governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. His cabinet is, women is well represented in his cabinet. And I enjoy that, I love him for that. And I continue to urge him to do more. He's done a lot. I think Lagos State has the largest representative of women in cabinet. First of all, they have to project themselves in their office space, their workspace. Let everybody know that they are equal to the task. Let us organize. There's a lot of society groups and societies that cater for the interest of women. I believe now violence against women is reducing in the society because there are sanctions for such behavior. I must say that speaking to the organization in charge of violence against women, I was amused to learn that some men come there to complain and that they are also being violated and abused.
Yes, it's a two-way
thing. So that is reducing our society. Education of the girl child is important. We have to let the locals know that education is important. Let them showcase to them the lives of those who have been educated and who are holding high positions. I'm glad that our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has returned history to the classrooms. It's important. Let them know about people that have contributed to the development of our society and our country. It's important. Yes, it's education. It's education. Once people are educated and they know that there is nothing a man can do that a woman cannot do when it comes to the workplace. We have women engineers, miners, and also all over there. Give me a job specific that a woman cannot do, then I'll change my views. So the moment you begin to upgrade education, let government now continue to vote more for education. I don't believe we are doing enough. There is a UN convention, and I think Nigeria is part of that convention, that a certain amount of a nation's income should be devoted to education. I'm not sure whether Nigeria is complying with that. But some states are better than others. And we must, education, I believe in education of the girl child. Some states now are taking children, girls off the street. Walking is completely prohibited. Things like that will help. Nigeria, we are not advanced enough to use our votes to change things. We are still not voting for individuals. We are voting for parties, irrespective of performance. Education will help. And when we join other nations for the same purpose, we get results. Our organizations who are fighting for women in Nigeria should join worldwide organizations to showcase our own situation and learn. I believe that when you talk to others, you come back with ideas on how to improve things. So we must improve things by telling women in positions to show, to continue to prove that they are more than up to the task. It will not come to us on a platter of gold. We must show by our actions and behavior that we are up to the task. Of course, some women are wrong in claiming equal rights to their husbands in the house. I completely abhor that behavior. Even though they are husband and wife, the man in my culture remains the head. You should be respected. You should be respected. It's only now the condition of living is so high that you join the two incomes together to run the house. In the past, it was the men that ran the house to pay for everything. Maybe some of these women are thinking that because they are contributing a quota to the development, that they have equal rights. Yes, they have equal rights on the upbringing of the children in their homes and everything. But respect is important. That will keep the home, and the children will learn and imbibe it into their own children too. Equal right does not, in my view, mean that you can be good, can not submit to your husband's wishes. Equal right means something differently. Respect comes out of it. It's important. I go out and I'm like appalled at the way women dress. There's a competition to show as much of your body, to do that much as your put as much of your body that you can. It's absolutely disgusting. They're not women. They're no longer women. The exposure, things that if you did in my time, a member of the community will cover you with a cloth and send you home. Because community mattered at that time. You dare not misbehave outside your compound because this community is watching you and reprimanding you if you go wrong, if you behave badly outside. That is law. And that is why you see people, even their dressing, show disrespect to womanhood and to themselves and to the community. We must learn, teach our children etiquette of dressing, speech, how to think and speak in a decent manner. We don't have it anymore. We're losing it, and it's shameful because people are appreciating naked women on the streets. Both sides. if people dress badly and you tell them and ignore them, they won't try the next time. For instance, I believe nobody can dress to come to my house or to come to my party like a naked woman. I will turn her back. I will turn her back. So that's the type of thing that we should all do. Let the people doing this know that we do not appreciate things like this. When the society itself corrects it, we must correct it individually. If their parents cannot correct it, we must, by ignoring them and not allowing them to come near us. Show our women that have contributed to the society. Yeah. Show them, showcase them, showcase them. Yeah. We have the first woman senior advocate of Nigeria. We have Okonjo Iweala. We have, in the UN. We have all sorts. We have what's this pharmaceutical woman? She's done so much. The younger ones are there. Little ones like Shadi Okoya is managing her husband's company and doing well. Let's encourage them. They are young. The young ones, they are working to improve the society. There's so many of them out there. We should showcase them. Let them know that we have women who are of top quality, intelligent, and well-behaved, and they dress well. Dressing well is dressing in a manner that is appealing to the eyes, not nakedness. That's my darling, this new CJN of Nigeria. Okay. Who do that? I did talk about Kikirieku. I mean, we're there. Female CJN. Yeah. And there are so many female chief judges all over the Federation. There are so many in the medical profession, in the engineering profession. We have pilots. So let them know that there is nothing that a woman cannot do. In IT, in everything, women are moving forward. We should showcase them. We should let their pictures be seen in our newspapers, in our news, in everything, to encourage young girls that you too can get there. If they don't see, and if they don't know the history of these women, how they got there, they too will not be inspired. We have to inspire the young people with the achievements of women achievers. Kekere rose from magistrate to right to the top. I admire her. She's well composed, well behaved. Some of these people, when they become something, they lose their heads. They start to, no, she's so respectful, well behaved, well dressed. I don't think she would allow herself or her children to come out naked. Never. So people like that, Okonjo Iweala the same. We have a lot.
Directors, President, Nigerian Guild of Editors, distinguished editors, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Mr. Chairman, as part of your engagement to engage with various stakeholders, you have met with various groups, and another critical group that you are meeting today are members of the Nigerian Guild of Editors. Of course, you had a meeting with NUG, where they selected journalists from states of the Federation, where you share your vision and also seek for their support. It's the same thing we are here today. Editors, before you is the chairman of the ICPC. Before becoming the chairman of ICPC, he was the Commissioner of Justice in Jigawa State. And he has a vision that he intends to unveil, or he wants you to help him so that he achieve this vision. Dr. Musa Ali San is currently pursuing a vigorous restructuring of the ICPC that requires your support, your understanding. And that is why I came to Lagos purposely to meet with you and to seek for that support. Distinguished editors, I present you as one of you. I present you the chairman of ICPC and Dr. Musa Ali San. Mr. Chairman, you are welcome, sir.
The management staff of ICPC, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm really happy and delighted to be in the midst of these distinguished Nigerians. And I have to say that we at ICPC, we really cherishes and greatly values the partnership with you all, because we know that you are really great and valuable because of the role which our Grand Norm has given to the media. And there is no doubt that your dedication to exposing corruption and enhancing our efforts has been crucial in fostering a more transparent society. And our decision to come here today is part of our determination to strengthen our partnership. That's why this breakfast meeting is not merely an event, but any affirmation of our shared mission to combat corruption and uphold integrity in Nigeria. And your support for the ICPC in delivering its statutory mandates, including its robust activities and initiatives in fighting corrupt practices and other related offenses in Nigeria, is really commendable, because you have been really helpful in enlightening Nigerians about the problem of corruption. And I'm personally filled with gratitude that the media has continued to positively boost the ICPC's anti-corruption public communication efforts. Your investigative reports, analysis, and overall dedication to truth have helped in exposing corrupt practices, because there are a lot of stories that you published which help us in our investigation. And most of these stories, they have led us to discovering some massive challenges that is facing, or that are facing our public sector. And if I may recall, there is one whereby it has to do with our youth. The contract supposed to be executed for the benefit of our youth, but the humongous amount of money was diverted. And it was as a result of one of you we discovered the challenge. So I thank you for the contribution. As we salute your commitment to the crusade against corruption, ICPC under my leadership is really serious to ensure the sustenance and heightening of our collaboration with you. And the media is not merely an observer, you are a frontline partner in the fight. And over the years, ICPC has adopted a strategic communication approach in line with Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and Section 27, Sub 4 of the ICPC Act. And these laws ensure the protection of suspects' rights while remaining strict, diligent, and stand in our actions. And ICPC will remain resolute in propagating the rule of law and protecting human dignity. And also, ICPC under my leadership prioritizes the protection of whistleblowers and the integrity of investigations. And transparency is a cornerstone of our work, and we will continue to provide verified information through official channels, which include press releases, newsletters, and our digital platforms. May I quickly review some of our engagement last year? Last year, because I was Attorney General, and I rallied my former colleagues, we had a meeting in Abuja, whereby we look at the challenge of corruption at subnational. We reviewed the problems and also agree that we need to work together. As a former Attorney General, I know that they are critical because they are the chief law officers of the states. That is why I engaged them. And after the meeting we had in Abuja, we started the zonal engagement. We had one in Kano for the Northwest, where we discussed challenges around corruption within the zone. And also this year we are going to the other geopolitical zones to have similar deliberations. And also in September this year we are going to sit down and review what we have done to see how can we partner. Because I feel the attorneys general are critical. And as chief law officers, they need to work together with us, because by Section 15 of the Constitution, all of us are supposed to put hand on deck in order to fight corruption and also to see how can we tackle abuse of office. And also, I had engagement with Nigerian Institute of the NIPR, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, ICANN, Nigerian Bar Association, and various stakeholders on how can we partner in the fight against corruption. Because no single entity can fight corruption. We need to work together. So that is why I reach out to various stakeholders to ensure that we are on the same page. And last year, we were able to reach out fiscally 1,458,000 individuals through our 579 sensitization exercise conducted under our community engagement programs. And we issued about 188 press releases. And also the Commission experienced increased followership in our social media platforms. And also we introduced what we call ethics pods, a podcast, whereby we are sensitizing Nigerians around the issue of corruption. And also, there is no way we can succeed without having planning. Our strategic action plan 2024 to 2028 was unveiled last year, whereby we gathered stakeholders and discussed it, because that will be our focus on how we can work. And our strategic action plan is in line with the National Anti-Corruption Strategy, which has 5 pillars: corruption prevention, issue of enforcement and punishment, ethical orientation, and also enlisting public support of Nigerians, so that, and also recovery of proceeds of crime and management. And this is the area whereby we have upscaled our activities to see that we trace, recover, and manage the process of crime, and also to remit it back to the Consolidated Revenue Fund, so that we won't allow those allegedly took away what did not belong to them to go away with it. Because if you allow them, once they accumulate the process of crime, no doubt they will use it and also to fight back. And also they will deprive Nigerians with what they are supposed to have in the issue of infrastructure. So that's why we focus seriously in that area of recovery of proceeds of crime. And also ICPC, as you know, that it has laudable programs. And one of the key issues which I focus is that I ensure that I consolidate all what the previous chairman of ICPC have done, from late Justice Mustafa Akambi to Professor Wasoni. I ensure that all their programs are intact, and I'm building up, so that I want to ensure that we maintain that organizational culture of ICPC, and also for me to enhance what they did, most especially to focus on digital transformation, because this is an area whereby we need to use technology in the fight against corruption, most especially in the area of analytics, artificial intelligence, that we'll be able to analyze huge data. And I'm sure you are aware of the constituency and executive project tracking, which ICPC is well known about it. And I know last year we were able to track over 1,500 projects, which has value of over 600 billion naira. And so that at least Nigerians can get good quality projects that is in the budget. And also the Ethic and Integrity Compliance Scorecard, which is an initiative of ICPC, which measure institutions' adherence to ethical standards. We released the results, and I have seen the impact, because most of head of agencies that have not done well, they reach out. Chairman, why? What are our challenges? Can you help us to see that we overcome these problems? Which is really good, because I have never thought that it will have that impact. And why? Because of you here. You have gave it wide publicity. So because of that, most of the head of agencies now, they reach out. Please, how can we do well next year? So I thank you for the assistance. And also our sexual harassment prevention program, which is tackling corruption linked to abuse of power. Last year, I know that we had engagement with the civil society, where the ministers of the Minister of Education, then Professor Tahir Mamman, and the State Minister Yusuf Tanko Sununu, they were there. The former Minister of Affairs was there, and also over 20 commissioners of education across the country, they attended, because we discussed the challenge around the problem of sexual harassment, most especially in our tertiary institutions, because our students are victims of this challenge. So that's why ICPC has been doing its great in that area, so that we ensure that we help our students, we protect them from sexual harassment. And I'm sure that you are aware that currently there is one of the senior academics that is facing trial at Abuja Federal High Court on this issue of sexual harassment. So, and we are determined to ensure that where there is credible evidence, any sexual harassment complaint tabled before us, we will make our efforts to ensure that we investigate it and also take the matter to court where there is evidence. Then there is Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit, ACT, that they have been doing well in the various MDAs in order to help in ensuring that there is transparency and accountability in MDAs in this country. Then, when I came in, I tried to bring up my policy, which I call it Care for Impact, to ensure that ICPs as an agency, I consolidate the good culture of that agency, and also an agency which is unaccountable, responsible, and efficient in approaching all issues that are tabled before us. So that one too is something that I unveiled last year, and we have been using it. Now, recently, we are aware of the decision of the Supreme Court about the local government autonomy. So we have looked at the decision, and also we have been having various engagement with civil society to see how can we give our quota, how can we control our quota in ensuring that the local government autonomy operates the way it's supposed to, and also how can we follow what are happening in the local government councils. And we are trying to bring up what we call corruption prevention program for local governments, whereby we'll monitor activities at all the 774 local government areas in this country. One problem we notice is that in this era of technology, there are only 7 local government areas in this country that have functional websites. So we feel that is not right. So we will now try to see how can we use technology to force the local government council to make information available to Nigerians so that Nigerians can follow what they are doing. You, also the editors and other media stakeholders, can be able to follow what are they doing so that we will monitor if there are issues, questions can be asked. We too, we can follow, because we don't have the enough manpower to go over all the 774 local government areas. But we feel technology can help us. And we know that practically, I don't think there are procurement processes in our local government councils. This is an area where we need to look at. And also we will ensure that there are mechanisms around control of corruption, around the issue of finances of local government councils. So we will team up with the media, with the civil society, to ensure that information are available. Nigerians know what is happening, so that at least it will reduce the challenge of corruption at local government level. Last 2 weeks, we are in Gombe, myself and Ola, the chairman of the EFCC, and we discussed around the challenges at local government level. So, and we are determined to ensure that we focus there, so that Nigerians at the local level can get the dividend of democracy. And even recently, we have been facing challenges around the issue of this local government autonomy, because there is even one caretaker local government chairman whom we charged to court, because after the decision of the Supreme Court, he continued to spend government money to award contracts, despite the fact that the Supreme Court said, look, stop. And also we know how challenging this issue of local autonomy has been since 1999. But ICPs as an agency, we will ensure that by virtue of Section 287 of the Constitution, we have the power to ensure that the decision of the Supreme Court is implemented fully. And also, I'm appealing to those who are making attempts not to comply with the decision of the African Court to please desist, because Supreme Court is the last court. Once it delivers a judgment, we must comply. That's what is rule of law. Because ICPC will continue to monitor and investigate, because any caretaker local government chairman from 11th of July 2024 who spent public funds, who award contract, that is corruption, because you don't have the mandate. And also the Apex Court has already spoken, so we must comply. Now, in my 1 year in office, there are a lot of international engagements which ICPC engage in. And in one of the engagements is that last year in September, we had an event in Beijing, China, whereby there is Global Network. Global Network is a coalition of over 200 anti-corruption agencies across the globe from 124 countries. And I had the privilege of leading ICPC delegation and Nigeria, whereby Nigeria participated in an election of steering committee member, and Nigeria was elected as one of the top steering committee member of that global network. And also, one area which I made mention that we have been focusing is the issue of asset recovery. Asset recovery is really area whereby we in Africa, we must focus on it, because we have seen how our own resources have been taken outside the continent, going to the global north. So that was why at the African Union level, if you may recall, in 2015, there is Thabo Mbeki high-level committee, whereby the heads of state of African countries agree that there is need for a forum of asset recovery practitioners in Africa. And the processes of bringing up the forum, it was last year that the forum was established in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, and I was elected as one of the representatives of West Africa, whereby we met in Arusha, Tanzania in November, whereby I was elected as the interim chair of that forum to try to galvanize the 55 African countries and corruption agencies to ensure that we come together to see how can we help Africa to recover and repatriate stolen assets that are kept somewhere else. And we agree that, look, apart from slavery, which is our own human resources that was taken to other continents, there are a lot of stolen assets of Africa outside the shore of Africa. And we know what is happening. Whenever you want to trace and recover, the experts outside Africa will charge you huge amount of money to recover all professional fee to recover those stolen assets. So that was why we say, no, we need to come together as Africans. Let us identify our experts within the continent. If we need somebody to trace, Nigeria doesn't have the expert. It can look for Ghana, Kenya, or any other African country. Do you have the expert? Yes. So that's why we are coming together to see that we trace, recover, and repatriate the stolen assets. Also, we'll keep on raising this issue of stolen assets at various fora, because the United Nations Convention Against Corruption has already backed the issue of stolen assets that we need to recover it. So this is an area whereby that I'm chairing now, and we are trying to see how we will make efforts to see that it has seen the light of the day. And distinguished editors, we know that corruption thrives where there is silence or in silence. But your voices are the ones that can shatter that silence. Your role in shaping public perception and holding institutions accountable cannot be overstated. The more Nigerians see what you write, what your opinion about this issue of corruption, the better for us. Because they will be enlightened, they will know what is happening, they will ask questions, and that will put us on our toes. That will minimize the challenge of corruption. Because we at ICPC, we are trying to see how can we use our mission to diminish corrupt practices through our public mobilization, our own doggedness in investigation, and also to ensure that we follow rule of law. We will be patient in investigation. No matter how long it will take, we will do it slowly but surely. We will reach our destination. And also, we at ICPC will ensure that we deepen our own relationship with you, the media. And I'm appealing to you to come to our aid. Try to understand the terrain we are working. It's not easy terrain. Whoever worked within that corruption cycle will know that it is not easy, because it is an area whereby you are fighting those who are already determined to continue to pilfer our resources. It's an area whereby those who engage in corrupt practices are really determined to peddle information that are not correct in order to try to bring controversies so that to divert the attention of the main issue. So fairness, hearing from the other side, is what will help us to discharge our mandate. And ICPC for the past 25 years has consistently maintained ensuring that there is fairness and the fair hearing, and also we do not engage in anything that will bring damage to people because of allegation against them. We will continue to ensure that we will be fair. If you ask questions, we will answer. And like I said, we are appealing to you to reason with us because of the terrain we are operating, which I know I don't need to elaborate. So that is why there is no way we will not come close to you. There is no way, because we need you, because Nigerians need to know what is happening. That will project the good image of our country. That will make foreign direct investment to come into our country. That will make our youth to have job. We know what is happening in this country. We know that a lot of youth are roaming on the streets looking for job. And the youth are the future leaders of this country. So, and it is through you, by helping us to propagate our activities and also to bring issues that will project good image of this country. By doing that, we will make Nigeria great, and also we will tackle the challenge of our corruption. And conclusively, I want to emphasize that you mean a lot to us, and that we count on you as dependable partners in ensuring that Nigeria is corrupt-free, and also I'm sure that partnering with you will continue to help ICPC to move forward, and also ICPC will continue to record achievements, and we hope that the aspiration of Section 15 of the Constitution will be realized, where Nigeria will be a country free from corrupt practices and abuse of office. Thank you so much. Money and property last year, and I even know even this year too, we recovered some amount of money and also property. Even currently, we are tracing and marking some assets in one of the states where some people diverted public funds. Even this morning, I know that there is an amount of money which we recovered from the diversion of public funds. So we're talking about both the fixed and movable property. That's if you are talking within Nigeria. Even abroad, it is the same thing. Although during my time, ICPC did not recover any assets from taken outside the shores of Nigeria. But I know that we are collaborating with one of the African countries about money that was brought into Nigeria from that country. We are tracking and to trace the money so that we will see how the money can be taken back to where it was brought in here. So this is what I can say. And some of the issues you raise are part of the problem. Like I said somewhere else, and I kept on saying, I will say it here. My first contact with public office is when I was Attorney General. That was when I now realized that all what I was thinking, when I came into contact with the reality, then I now realize that we Nigerians are part of the problem. One of the issues you raised about societal pressure. I'm not saying that it's a justification for any public officer to engage in corruption. But if you, I'm sure you have had one or two discussions with those who are holding public office. The kind of stress, the pressure that public officers are undergoing in this country is too much. Because the family, the friends, associates expect you to give them money. And this is one of the factors that is now pushing those in public office to go into that. And I noticed that any public officer who resists, you are considered as awkward, very difficult, and they will keep on pressurizing you that if only people that are strong that can stand that pressure. And also some people too, they are even daring. They will tell you, I was a victim when I was Attorney General. And I want to say it here, maybe the person who did it will hear an issue which I say, look, AG, we want you to do this thing. I say, sir, it's not even in public office, it's not even a public officer. I say, sir, I can't do this thing because my conscience will not allow me to do it. After they put pressure from different angles, okay, you are a young man. How? I don't want to destroy your career. And I say, sir, my career is not in your hand. It's in the hand of God, my Creator. And I left. What followed, it wasn't pleasant. I had to battle for more than 1 year of series of blackmail, from one blackmail to another, just because somebody wants to get money, and you can only get that money through me. And I was put under intense pressure to succumb, which I did not. What followed was I was put under serious stress. Now, the second problem is there is this theory. Whenever the corruption, if you look at it, if the benefit is high, the risk is low, people will keep on to engage. If people know that if you engage in corruption, it is really highly risky, you will lose your reputation in public. People will never consider you as somebody who has reputation in the society. People will be careful. if you know that the punishment is going to be very harsh, people will be careful. But if the risk is very low, the benefit is high, so people will continue to engage. So that is why we need to look how can we strengthen our laws to ensure that those who engage are punished seriously. And also, you, the media, you have the role to play in sensitizing Nigerians that those who are trying, please try to support them. And distinguished aides, I want to tell you that there are good people in this country. Every part of this country, there is no part of this country that I did not come across people that detest corruption, people that are serious, people that help me. I met a lot of people that are trying to see how can we help this thing, how can we fight this corruption, Chairman. But the problem is that the support from the public, sometimes people are not willing to support because they feel, you know, what you are doing is not worth it, and also because of the pressure, so people feel like, okay, let us leave you, go and do what. So this is second problem. And also, we need to see how can we fasten the judicial process, because it's law. It is not the law that is the problem, but rather some of us within the system, we try to put stumbling block in the judicial processes, bring in series of applications, truncate, so that you will see one case will take many years. Even the witness will be frustrated. You call a witness today, the matter is adjourned, and I'm not saying that it is the fault of the judges. No, it is all of us, the lawyers, and also other stakeholders, that we know if your client has an issue, as a lawyer, you know, because once you look at the facts and the proof of evidence, you'll be able to know that my client has an issue. Okay, how can we help him to face justice so that all the process of justice, the court and the system should be fair to him? But you will see that that slowing down is also another factor. That you will see somebody engage in corruption, when you take him to court, it will take many years. And before you know it, you will see another corruption case. And also another problem, especially in the public sector, I now notice, is that our public service rules also has a problem, because it has given a leeway that people engaging in corruption, there is no specific provision which provides that, look, once you are engaged